Guys, you see, this is Comrade. It's very beautiful city. I like it very much, and there's nice people here from European Gagauzia. They are also much better off if we join the European Union, because the European Union is the answer to this peripheral crisis, poverty, which then is exploited by the Russians ultimately, because they come here and say there's a better future out there. They invite the governors of such regions to Leningrad and Moscow. They are impressed by the centers and they see all the money and they get some money, and then ultimately they come back and then they say, oh, we are poor compared. Yeah? But let's compare Comrade, the city of 20,000, and Gagauzia with maybe 120,000, with a small region in Europe. And let's see that we can bring regional prosperity with our form of development, with our form of governance. Yeah? Maybe not skyscraper buildings like Petersburg and Moscow, because they have all these treasures from Siberia which they exploit unfairly. But we can do, this can be like Klagenfurt. Yeah? Oh, Comrade, my Comrade, I like it so much. Yeah? Very nice, very nice. Here is another public administration building. It's another beautiful place I have now not visited, but now we have to go back and we will gradually head back into Chisinau, and I will show you still this beautiful place. Of course it's not big, of course it's poor, but there is also development. Look at it, there is construction development and there is development. There is also rich people in Comrade, and there is in European Gagauzia. It's not so bad, you know, they are friendly, they are nice. Yeah? There's no conflict here. There's absolutely peace. I don't know about Transnistria. I didn't dare to go. I'm a bit careful with when they are too pro-Russian. I don't want to end up in Siberia. But I'm very happy if you see and share the development of this beautiful place. And I can show you how things are. Usk. There's Usk here, and there is this commercial area. And here I've shown you the university and many of this. There's also this agricultural sector. That's a big business obviously here. It's agriculture and everything connected with wine and with other forms of agriculture. That's of course all over Moldova. This is Kaufland is also here. I see that one. Huh? And the Lenin Street. That's of course very hard for me to see that they still have a Lenin Street. This is Kaufland, it's a real Kaufland, it's a very good Kaufland, yes, okay, good, yeah, bravo, Kaufland, that's Germany, bravo, things are moving on. The CFTA makes everything possible, and imagine if we have then the IPA funding and we have the clear European future, the direction into NATO, and of course the euro as currency. We will have all the European brands, we will have all this European purchasing power by time, because here the people in poverty, they complain that the prices are European, but their income is not European. That's all over Southeastern Europe, the problem, and that's why so many people then choose a future inside the core of the European Union. But this trend will only exaggerate. Yeah? Here, of course, a Russian energy company, Lukoil, I'm against that one. But okay, we will separate completely from Russia by time. And that will be very good, yeah? Very beneficial, no longer dependent on the blackmail of Russian energy. So here you see there is a lot of investments going on, a lot of progress has been made, but here of course Gagauzia is still stuck in the past with links to Russia, and that I call them to break these links with Russia. Break with Russia, join the European system in energy, agriculture, construction standards, in politics first of all, and follow the South Tyrolean regional autonomy model or the Steiermark model in terms of political status. They have that already. It's all legally there in the constitution. I just followed up and read it all, and there is also very good standards here, and they have more or less in economic terms to say. The EU is already supporting them in many aspects, but of course much more must be done, has to be done, and will be done in the future, and we have to compete. We cannot leave small regions like Gagauzia to Russian influence. This has to be countered. And then it's also a role model when they see that the people of Gagauzia live much better than the people from Transnistria will say, oh good, oh you see, this is what we want. All people want to live healthy and wealthy and reasonable. That's the Lake of Comrade. Look at it, very nice. I was jogging over there in 2018, I remember. That was really very good. and I was very happy with that one. Yeah, it's a lot of agriculture here. The Soviets have done a lot of this irrigation channels and a lot of this actually quite good efforts for irrigation, water collection, because that's of course the big thing here, and to work decently. And much of it has been basically succumbed in the last decades of neglect. But we need to build European-style agriculture here. This is the task in Ukraine after the war, and already in the free Ukrainian parts, and also in Moldova, and also in everywhere, you know, from the Balkans, where most of this is already happening. But of course, much more needs to be done after the last decade, when the Europeans were not ready for responsibility. But now in 2022, we are getting this wake-up call from the Russian aggression, and we have to come back and do things, yeah. And to leave countries in neglect, as you see here, this was very, very big strategic mistake. And I call for the European Union to engage intensively and proactively, also for the Americans, the Japanese, and to show how good development is. And I remember that I did the same speech, without the video actually, in Kherson in 2016 when I was at this regional development conference, and I have asked them to turn Kherson in the southern Korea of Ukraine, and all these slogans I have developed, and nobody wanted to hear that. They all wanted appeasement and not me mixing up things. And then what happened? Now Kherson is Russian. Yeah, it's the truth. They have occupied it. They want to issue the ruble there, and they put it under the Russian customs union, the Eurasian customs union, and we are in a complete mess, and we've lost Kherson. Yes. And that's the tragic consequence of our failed appeasement policy. Yeah, put it on Macron, Holland, and Merkel, and all these appeasers who are doing nothing else but appeasing Putin and Vucic, and then we lose territory, people, and there is a lot of victims and enormous costs. Because what I propose in terms of reconstruction, 1.5 trillion, when you think what is the loss, economic loss of the war, which Putin has since 2014 waged against us, and the loss of territory, people, and the loss of life connected to it, then of course it's much more expensive than what I'm proposing. And it's all the damage, you know, it's gone already. That's lost. What I'm proposing is an investment into a European future of Ukraine, Moldova, Georgia, the Western Balkans. That will be a productive investment for the future to come, to be very, very, very good and paying back, because these are good people who will work hard in the European and in their labor markets and product markets, and they will produce and they will contribute to the GDP of a united Europe of 37 countries. And what Merkel has achieved with her war and with the failed policy of appeasement was just buying more Russian gas, and then having more Russian tanks, and more Russian tanks taking more European land and killing more Europeans in Ukraine and elsewhere. And that's the tragedy of these years, and that's of course a very big mistake. And we have to face the facts that we have this results because of that bad policy. And now I'm going back. Here's Comrade. That's goodbye to Comrade. We are here in this beautiful Gagauzia, and I'm now heading back towards Chisinau, and I have shown you here this agricultural industry facilities. That's of course, you know, that's how the Soviet did it. Yeah, it's all there. It's a typical agricultural facility of the past, where they have done big site agricultural facility, obviously left to rot. Over there is some new facilities, there's some investment, but here the basics are there. There's railway connection, there's irrigation system, there's this industrial kind of facilities, and there is a road access. So the basics they have done reasonably well in terms of infrastructure, and also conceptually, with the transport ways. And the Soviet engineers, they knew something of agriculture, obviously not everything, but something.